going on, you absolute beautiful people? Love what you do. Love what you do. So, what I'm planning to do is I've been making videos and stuff because I'm going to, like I said, I've never put my stuff up for sale, so I'm actually going to start doing that. But what I've also never done is actually shown everybody each one of these paintings and gone in depth of what the actual meaning is within each one. And these paintings that I'm trying to give to sick kids, give the rights to sick kids, so they help build the new hospital. These are like some of the most important paintings to me. Absolutely, not even some of. They are hands down the most important paintings to me. And I want to give them away. The rights to them. I want to give this book, give them the rights to the book. And I've never actually shown everybody what each painting is and why they actually mean so damn much to me. So I was about to pull this one out, and I was going to make a video. And I'm reading through it, and I'm reading it, and it says, I put 15 hours of handstanding into this piece. The funniest thing about that is when I did this piece, I thought I put so much freaking time into the piece. It actually has, I say almost 40 layers all the time. This piece has 36 layers of straight paint, no splat. I hadn't started splat painting yet. 36 layers of straight paint, and then in the bitter cold of February, 15 plus hours of hand sanding. And at the time, I did not have 3,000 grit sandpaper. I didn't even have 2,000. I think I got as high as 1,000 grit. And so, like I said, I'm going to get more in depth into each one of these paintings, and I decided I was going to do this one. I pulled it off the wall, and I'm looking, I read the book, and I'm like, oh my god, I never had 3,000 grit sandpaper for one. Two, it's been hanging on my wall in my hallway for the past 3 years. I need to clean it up. So I'm just going to sand it again. I'm going to sand it using 3,000 grit sandpaper. Enjoy what you do. So stay tuned and check back for the videos about each one of these paintings. I'm going to try to make a short video for Instagram about each one, and then I'll make a post on Facebook, YouTube, and whatever else with a slightly longer video, potentially. We'll see. We got to get people to understand what these things are all about, and why it is I'm trying to give these things to sick kids, and what I want to do. The only way for me to do that is to share the information. If I were to pull the camera in here real close, you can see like all sorts of scuff marks. There was clearly a point that I used some type of a sander, because I can see the grooves of it, unless that was just me. It's possible. But this was one of the first pieces that I actually sanded through, and this one's on canvas. Most of these things are all on wood. This one's actually on canvas. I'm so proud of this piece, but when I think back and go, wow, 15 hours, I've put, here, I'll show you this piece right here. I have legitimately put 39, well, I'd say definitely 40 hours of hand sanding into this Toronto Raptors themed piece. Let's see if I can pick some of this up. Look at some of that. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? This piece actually glows in the dark. Glows purple. And I'm trying to give this to Drake. I made one for each one of our sports teams. And I'm like, should I just give them to the sports teams? Because this is from my Excitonium series. And I'm trying to give these away as well to people of major influence. The power of mind. Look up Excitonium up. It's awesome. It's not the power of mind, but it ties in there. Science has proven that stuff now.
Before the rain comes
She's the only woman.
Never meant a damn to me.
Never meant a damn to me.
Said hard times.
Hard times.
No friend. Said no friend. Said hard times. Said no friend. Said no friend to me. Tell me now, old friend. Oh, when you gonna let me be? Tell me now, old friend.
Tell me now, oh friend.
Tell me now, old friend. When you gonna let this old man be?
When you're gonna let this old man be? Changing the actual look of the painting with 3000 grit. Sweet. I love change. But Dallas, this was a big painting. You're right, it is. It's a big deal to you. It is. But you're sanding it again and it's changing. Well, it's part of my changes series. Change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. And I looked at it like it was time to clean this bad boy up and sand it with a 3000 grit. Getting warm though.
Tell me how to be in this world. Tell me how to breathe and feel no love. Tell me how, 'cause I believe in something. I believe in us. After down by the river, oh, you know I'm a sinner. Oh, a sinner for love.
Can't go back and I never met a woman I love that I don't know. Waiting for that outside your door. Put it in drive, I'm by your side. You take me places my heart hides. Oh mama, down by the river. Oh, you know I'm a sinner. Oh, a sinner for love. Mama, down by the river. Oh, you know I'm a sinner. Oh, a sinner for love. When the eastern breeze it gets hotter and harder to leave your seat, you get caught in a couple of the sun gets counter and read. Darling, what you waiting for? That open Toyota's outside the door. Put it in drive, I'm by your side. You take me places my heart hides. Oh mama, down by the river. Oh, you know I'm a sinner. Oh, a sinner for love. Oh mama, down by the river. Don't you know I'm a sinner? Sinner, oh, a sinner for love. sinner, oh, sinner for love.
Hey guys, I'm going to be singing a Jason Mraz song called I Won't Give Up. And
It's a beautiful song.
massive load.
This is my wedding song.
Request to sing this yesterday.
Her singing it too. This song, this version.
I love it.
Jason Mraz. I'm not a huge fan of his actual version, to be
By the way,
honest.
I'm sick a little bit, so if I sound like
This girl was incredibly talented.
I hope you guys like it.
Her death was sad. I had hoped to one day marry my wife. Again, we got married twice. Not divorced and married, just got married twice. And I was hoping to get her to actually come do this song at some point, but shortly after she got killed, which was very sad. Grimes.
Just leave a bunch of requests in the comment section.
That song is
or on Facebook and Twitter. Stay tuned. I got
crazy emotional for me.
So leave, comment on what cover you want me to do. And I want to start doing some
One real?
original songs.
I can't talk.
So you guys can hear them acoustically.
Because I'm
anyway,
trying not to
thank
cry.
you so much for watching and
Because I think of and feel the love. wife, and my family.
The nutritional goodness of fruits and veggies.
God, I'm such a
So you can
sap
add more
sometimes.
into your day. Naked.
But you want real.
Good smoothie.
You know, don't hide who you are. That's me, man. I'm like I'm welling up with tears because of that song. It's my wedding song. I'm not divorced. I'm happily married still. I love my wife. My wife loves me. But I feel every ounce of that when I listen to that song. It makes me want to cry. Like joy, though. That's why I couldn't sing it. I can't. That's why I was silent.
Lord, help me, Jesus. Always. So help me, Jesus.
That guy there, that's Marty Ray Project. He's awesome. Not a fan of that particular song, but he's awesome.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away.
I'm like about to bawl from that song.
Ain't no
Give me 1 second.
sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. One of this time where she's gone. I wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone in this house.
Isn't that amazing what music can do? Can bring you to such deep emotions. Like, had me welling up. I had to go blow my nose. Like, I was gonna start bawling. It's crazy. Awesome. I love that. That's what the beauty is. When you enter into a spirit of a thing, then you can truly feel what that artist meant for you to feel and/or your own. Imagination is incredible. Feeling is part of imagination. Feeling and imagination is a huge part of thought to move forward on your goals and dreams. Every day. Sunshine when she's gone. Gone too long. Anytime she goes away. When I think of this song, I think of the she as happiness. She is happiness in this song. Home when she's away. You know, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? It ain't no home. Anytime happiness goes away. This painting that I'm sanding / polishing is titled Brain Scan. It's on canvas from the Changes series, and one of the paintings that is in the book that I'm giving to sick kids, plus the rights to produce this painting, reproduce it, full-size print, reproduce it on a t-shirt, a mug, whatever makes them money.
It's something a little different than what I usually do.
And I'm also donating the actual original of Currents of Journey to sick kids as
So I
well.
finally figured out how to arrange it, and it's a lot different from the original version of it.
So they're getting all 12 paintings. All of these paintings here and a few others are part of the Changes series.
It's happening. I'm doing it.
Which the title of that series is inspired by Wayne Dyer's quote, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." That started, all of this started 8 years ago. 8+ years ago. My daughter is diagnosed with hip dysplasia. I don't know how to cope. How do you deal? Crying alone sometimes, just trying to. What do you do? How do you bring the world to your daughter? How do I do this? Listening to Bob Proctor, actually, 9 years ago, in my garage, daughter going through hip dysplasia, and I'm sitting there just trying to meditate, I guess, and I come across Bob's videos, and it's one of the old videos where he's in his beige suit and got the big glasses on. To be honest, I think it was the first time I saw him draw what I have called it's the first time I saw him draw what I have created an actual man and gave it to him, and I've titled him Mr. Mind, and I hope to God that he officially renames him Mr. Mind. Why not? But anyway, when this video was so old, when he drew Mr. Mind with a square head. He hadn't started drawing him with a round head yet. That's like how far back the video of Bob I watched came from. It's awesome. He was such a young man in the video. I gave him one of the Excitonium pieces. I've also given one to Jerry Robert. Both of these men are incredible mind shapers, and that's what I'm trying to do with the Excitonium series, is to give them to mind shapers or society shapers in one way or another, people who have had a major influence, and I want to give them those. I don't know who they're gonna all go to. I wasn't trying to give away everyone to. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that series, but I know I want to give it away in a way that raises awareness for this project and what I do as an artist. Because this whole charity project that I'm doing, and I'm trying to give the book and all this rights to sick kids, I'm already working on a second one. Like, I haven't even officially accomplished this yet. I'm already working on another charity project. It is then leading into my Sick Kids versus Art campaign, and it is a massive 6-piece, 4x8 foot, 6-piece painting that's going to be painted multiple times, and every time it gets painted, 2 of the pieces come out and gets replaced with new, so that we keep the original showing every layer, and at the end, sand through those other 4 major pieces, creating something that would be unseen otherwise, because there's multiple layers. I hope to get other artists to come and join and be part of this, and I'm going to turn that into another book and give that book to charity as well. Now, I was hoping with this book that I could get 10 different charities and really help a lot of different charities, but I've never done something like this. As far as I know, nobody has, so to try to get people to understand or see what I'm doing is a little difficult, so maybe I got to narrow it down. I got to start with one. So this book specifically, I've decided specifically is going to be given to Sick Kids Hospital, and all the benefits of these 12 paintings will be given to Sick Kids Hospital. Perhaps this other painting I'll get, somebody from the autism charity to come by and help, and we'll get some kids to paint the painting, and then we'll pull those centerpieces out, and then I'll go to somewhere else, and we'll do lung cancer, we'll do, you want to raise awareness for puppies, like, I don't know, I want to help others, and I'm going to use my art to the best of my ability to help others. So I've got this charity project, and I'm already working on another one. So if you're an artist, and you would like to jump on board with me, look, I'm going to start shortly, I'm going to start seeking artists out, well-known artists, not well-known artists. Can you paint a 4-foot by 8-foot painting? It's not going to be flat canvas. We'll paint it white or whatever background color you want to start with. But this previous painting's done before, so there's a texture already on it, right? So if you can paint a 4 by 8 foot painting and you want to be part of this, you instantly become a co-artist on that piece. And man, when you come together, 1 + 1 = 3, right? It doesn't equal 2. So the more people we can get on board, the better. But you have to understand that your painting, we're going to pull the 2 centerpieces are like the size of this, or half one of these, or whatever, right? I think it's 16 inches by 16 inch square right in the center of the 2 major pieces. Those pieces will come out, but the rest of your painting's gone. It's getting painted over, right? So I want you to be part of this because you want to be part of something that's never been done. Awesome sauce. You want to help me paint this? You want to become a co-artist on one of my pieces? I'm working on a piece that I feel needs to be painted like 50 times, 100 times. I'm hoping to really go at this thing and get help and have other artists come. I'm not the type of artist who can draw a portrait or a bowl of fruit. Are you? Are you willing to spend the time to do that and then allow me to just paint right over it? We're going to take photos of it, but then I'm going to paint right over it. Take the centerpieces out first, put 2 new ones in, and paint over it. So the majority of that 4 foot by 8 foot painting is only going to ever be seen in a photograph and in the book, because we're going to sand through it. And then I hope to get people and perhaps Sick Kids Hospital or whoever, maybe not Sick Kids, that's probably not a good idea, to help me sand through the painting, right? Respiratory mask and all that. And we'll create something out of that. So I'm just constantly trying to use my art to give back, because the reason I started as an artist in the first place, period. I didn't do art. I'm a lifetime roofer. I started out at 11 years old doing roofing, helping on the weekends and then in my summers, and then I turned 14 and I was already making $10 and $12 an hour. That's in 1994. The grown men were making minimum wage, like $6 an hour, whatever the hell minimum wage was, and I'm making like double what they're making, and I was 14 years old. Right? So I dropped out. I went into work, but I had to go back. Truancy officers made me go back. I went back to school. I turned 15. I dropped out again. They just never bothered. And money and the pursuit of something more in life is exactly what my path and my journey started on. Does that mean I'm not educated? Well, I'm not educated, I guess, in the way of the education system. But I self-educate all the time. Anybody who follows my channels know that I watch webinars, seminars, audiobooks. I am constantly trying to grow, expand, and learn more. I'm not a genius, but I'm not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Neither are you. You're not a dummy. You may be a genius. You may be way smarter than me. It's quite possible. You probably are, because every one of you guys are absolute awesome sauce, and I love you all. But you have to not give up, no matter what it is. All of this started because my daughter went through hip dysplasia, and I want to give back. That's how it started. It started with this, to be honest. My daughter went through hip dysplasia, and I made her a bunk bed for her Monster High dolls. They were brand new at the time. They didn't have, see, this is the part that goes into the, if you can tell, this is notched out. It's the back side that you wouldn't see. This is notched out. It actually fits in. I built the doll house to go around the damn bunk bed. It all started with a bunk bed. That's my sand through style. And this is how it all started. I was like, oh, I like that. That's awesome. What can I do with that type of stuff? I just want to give back. So this entire series, I'm giving the book and I'm giving Sick Kids the rights to produce the image. I mean, I'm also gonna keep the rights to produce the image myself, but Sick Kids will have the rights to do whatever they want with it. You know, if they want to put it on a blanket and offer a blanket, go for it. You know. Some of these paintings in this series are 7 foot by 3.5 feet. Man, that's huge. It's a big painting. A reprint of that painting is easily going to be worth a few grand just to reprint the damn thing. And Sick Kids, short of obviously the cost of producing it, that they will, whatever manufacturer they use, obviously there's a cost for them to produce it. But other than that cost, they will make every dollar, not me, nobody else. So how I'm going to do it, I don't know. I still haven't managed to, like, I've reached out and now I'm still waiting. They told me 2-3 weeks it could take for Sick Kids to get back to me. I think we're going on 2 weeks now. They got back to me once and I spoke to a lady, and then she's taking the information because I gave her a lot of information. So she's going to take that to the next set of people, and then they're supposed to be getting back to me within 2-3 weeks, and it's been about 2 weeks now, so starting to get to the point that I'm going to have to contact them. But I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. This isn't actually a bloody book yet. This is just something I made with my printer and slid pieces in dollar store just to give something tactile to hold so I can show what I'm talking about. This is not the cover. I don't want this to be the cover. I want Currents of Journey to be the cover. Or whatever actually sells best for sick kids. Which would make sense to me for it to be Currents of Journey because that's their colors. I painted in sick kids' colors. You know, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Financially, if I could produce this book, I would have done it. I would have done it a year ago if I financially had the ability. But I don't have the 30 to 60 grand that's going to cost me to actually publish the book and get it out there. So I have to find another way around this problem. And I am constantly, it's like non-stop. Some of my friends and family are like, do you ever stop with this? And I'm like, no, because it's not accomplished. Once it's accomplished, then no I won't. Then I'll push it to raise as much awareness for it as possible so that sick kids can sell as many prints as possible, as many whatever it is they put the print on as possible to make the money. Once I actually get them the book, then it's only just begun. Then it's only just begun. Then my push, then the actual hustle has to start, because I gotta market, I gotta help sick kids push the book. I'm sure they'll do a great job all on their own, but this is my baby, and I want to raise. Listen, me and my daughter are on a quest to donate $1 million to sick kids through the sale of a single painting. Right? That's not including the money that I hope to raise from the book. I hope to raise $1 million, $5 million, $10 million in proceeds and profits from the book, the prints in the book, the whatever they put within 1 year for sick kids. I still hope to at some point sell a painting and donate the proceeds to sick kids. And we want to we're going to donate $1 million to sick kids through the sale of a single painting. So if you're watching and you're a multi-millionaire and you're like, that quest sounds awesome, bud, I'll help you. You want to pick a painting? You buy it for $1 million right now. Charitable donation for your business. Pardon my French, full charity. And you can come with me. I'll do a live. We'll walk into sick kids and hand the full $1 million right to sick kids, and I won't take a penny. Can you help me accomplish that goal? That'd be amazing. Right? You never know if you don't ask, so. But, and if the $1.5 billion Powerball winner who's watching, if you're like, nah, okay, that's cool too, bud. I don't mind, because I'm still going to find a way to make this happen. That's the quest I'm on. And I won't stop. I don't give up easily. Sometimes you get knocked down, things are hard, I'm stuck, what do? You gotta ask questions. When you're stuck, the best thing I've ever done when I was incredibly stuck, the best and worst thing, let's break this down. The best and worst thing that I did when I was stuck was make a post explaining that I was stuck and asking for help. Ideas, encouragement, whatever. I was just stuck. Right? That's the best thing I did and could have done in that time and helped me get out. The worst thing I could have done and did was word it in a way where people took it as I was complaining. But I wasn't. I'm like frustrated, I'm stuck, I need help, and I'm calling out. But when you're in that moment of stress and frustration, it absolutely can seem like you're complaining. Because people are used to seeing us on social media, and we all put everyone wants to put their best self on social media, and put your green screen behind you and make it look like I'm talking to you, but I'm in some mansion palace of a house. Like, you know what I mean? That's not the case. I'm just a simple, normal, regular person in my house showing you my soul shine. So yeah, just that's that. Back to work. I fell in love with long ago. I that's the wrong one.
Sit down on my
Couch and cry tonight.
oh my love.
Please help me.
Hold my hand and let her cry.
And let her cry. Tears fall down like rain.
And let her sing.
If it eases all her pain, let her go. Let her walk right out on you.
Sun comes up,
Tomorrow, and it will.
it'll be
The sun will always come up tomorrow.
let her be.
So remember that, and when life is hard and dark times, man, ask for help. Right? So yeah, sorry. There's another point I wanted to make on that. Go back over everything you've done. Like I pulled this table opens up to almost 10 feet long. I pulled out every single piece of paperwork, every single note, every letter that I wrote. I wrote letters and affirmations and I wrote a few letters to Bob, and I sent Bob the gift of gratitude, and then I sent him like some ideas to go with Mr. Mind, and I thought it was amazing. Perfect example of trying something and falling flat. Okay, so I worked really hard on. How do I word this correctly? Because I worked very hard on the gift of gratitude, that's all it was right from the beginning. But in the last 2 weeks, when I was actually finished producing the gift of gratitude, right? You don't see every step ahead of yourself, right? You cannot see every step. So let's show what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, right? I gave Bob one of these from my Excitonium series. His is a multicolored piece. And I don't have. Okay, so his is a multicolored piece, though, right? Now I worked really hard on the actual Excitonium sculpture, which, by the way, my only objective was to give Bob this gift of gratitude, because to me it represents a paradigm. This is like your aura, the wood. This is wood, cedar. Represents man or woman, or represents self, and all of the color kind of represents aura. You know, that's your emotional aura, your paradigm. This is your paradigm, your construct of thinking, right? So it was solely a gift of gratitude for Bob with nothing more attached, nothing more. As it was done, it's complete, and I'm like, awesome, it's time to give it to Bob. Bang! All of a sudden, I was produced with another problem that I hadn't thought of. Packaging. What am I going to say? What, just send it in a box to the man's house without a letter attached? I got to write a letter. I was like, oh my god, I'm not finished. I need to put it on something. Like, what's he going to do with it? Oh, I needed a stand. All of a sudden, I was presented with all these other problems. So I ended up building a stand for it, right? So now it's complete. Now I'm writing the letter. But in the process of writing the letter, I'm playing with Mr. Mind. Which is it's Bob's drawing, his little stick man drawing. I brought him to life with a little universe in his chest as a heart. That's amazing. I love it, right? So I think it's amazing. So I'm playing with this as I'm writing my letter to Bob, just telling him about what this gift is for, and that I'm grateful for his teachings on YouTube. I can't afford to pay for his classes, but I can afford to spend a little time and show him give him a gift of gratitude that represents, to me anyway, his teachings. This is your mental construct. It's a paradigm right there. So while I'm playing with Mr. Mind, all of a sudden now I start coming up with all these ideas because I'm playing with this thing, right? And I'm like, oh my god, I would buy this toy to give to my daughter. Oh shit, I should tell that to Bob. Product after product after product. So I wrote out this secondary thing to the letter with Mr. Mind and the possibility you could coloring book. There's a Roblox video game. Let's make a Mr. Mind version. Dog toys, T-shirts. Like, why is Mr. Mind and Mrs. Mind? Like, remember when I said Bob? When I've been watching Bob since he was drawing him square. So that's Mr. Mind and Mrs. Mind. How incredible is that? But anyway, why everybody who follows Bob Proctor knows that stick figure. Every single one of you. All of you. And majority of you would buy a product with Mr. Mind on it. I know this because because I love the bloody thing, and as soon as I was holding him and playing with him with his head that pops off, conscious mind, subconscious mind, put toys in his mind, represent your... I was like, oh my God, I would play with this all the time. I need a tiny little piece that I can put in my pocket and just pull it out, and there's Mr. Mind, it's a little squishy in my pocket. So I gave Bob all these ideas. I gave him this gift of gratitude. Right? So remember how I started this. It's an example of how you can put everything you got into something and fall flat on your face. Okay, so I did this. I put all of this effort into creating this. Now it's done. I've got it, right? It's created. I created the stand. I created Mr. Mind. I wrote the letter. I'm like, oh my God, there's all these product ideas that I'm just giving to Bob, by the way. Like, just do this. Oh my God, I would love to see you make this and make my creation and take it all. Like, it's yours. But if you do make money off it and you're happy, please, like, throw me 1% royalties as an MSI. That would be awesome. That's kind of how I put it in the letter. But remember, for me, the whole thing simply started out as wanting to give him a gift of gratitude. Come the end of it, it was like, I give him product and I give him all this. Now I said, putting everything you got. I put so much time, energy, mental effort, everything. You know, this is so sad. This is so sad. I would like to point out before I say this, that Bob Proctor actually does have my piece, and it's in his office, but he doesn't have it on the stand, and it just lies there on a shelf. So anyway, which I'm still incredibly grateful, because you know how hard it is? You know how many people try to give something to Bob and fail? The fact that I accomplished that goal, which is also what I said. My sister asked me, what if you give this to Bob? Because I put so much into this. She goes, what if you give this to Bob and he doesn't care? And I was like, did he take it? Did he accept the gift? And she goes, sure, but he doesn't care. And I go, done. I'm so incredibly grateful that he accepted the gift. If he does nothing else with anything else that I did, ultimately I'm still incredibly grateful because I accomplished something incredible. You know how many people try to give that man a gift? He is a superstar. Superstar. Thousands of people want to get up in this man's face and shake his hand and blah, blah, blah. Who am I? I'm nobody. I just want to give the man a gift of gratitude. I did it. I did it. But now, remember I said, putting everything you got and you fall flat. I got this to him. I got to one of his conferences in Toronto. I gave it to Gina, I believe. She got it to Bob for me, but I fell short. For whatever reason, Bob's people did not reach out to me, not even to send me a thank you. And I was incredibly persistent, calling back, because I'm telling them, like, this is the Excitonium series. I'm putting this in like, I'm hoping to create a documentary about how I accomplished this, and I'm giving this to people of influence, people of mind, power of mind. And I'm like, so, just can you send me a video of Bob just saying thank you, or something, anything, or a letter, something I could use within this. They never got back to me at all. And I multiple times, to the point that they were getting frustrated with me, and the customer service sent it to somebody else, and then that's how I actually got it to Bob. I was so persistent. And then they just, for whatever reason, Bob's a busy man, a businessman, they got a million things. Like I said, there's hundreds of thousands of people trying to give Bob stuff. But all I wanted was just some kind of recognition. At first, I didn't even know he had it. Let me explain this. To this day, if I didn't connect myself with so many like-minded people and Bob Proctor affiliates and stuff like that, I wouldn't have even known that Bob got it. My whole thing after I got it to Bob, I was very relentless because I just wanted confirmation that he actually got it. Right? How do I know that the man got it if nobody sends me confirmation that he got it? So I was like pleading, like, please give me confirmation. Plus, I'm using this in a documentary and blah blah blah. Nothing. We'll get back to you in a week. A week and a half go by. I get back to them, like, very persistent. They were getting basically frustrated. We're like, okay, look, let us have a couple of weeks and then we'll get back to you. Because I said, like, if it's going in a documentary, and if you want to leave it as you won't even give me a confirmation, that's fine, that's what we'll do. I don't know what happened to the sculpture. To me, I'm like, it could have got thrown in the trash by somebody before it even got to him. Like, how do I know? No, I'm aware that the Bob Proctor affiliates and these people are kind people. These are beautiful. You guys are beautiful people, all of you, everybody. And I'm aware of this. But the point is, without any kind of confirmation, how do I know? Like, I don't know, right? But I've got friends who are friends of Bob's, and they've seen my art in the man's office and sent me a picture. There it is. He's got it! He has it! It's in his office! Like, oh my God, my heart exploded with joy. And then it exploded with sadness at the same time because I realized it's on its side, it's not on its stand, it doesn't have Mr. Mind. Oh my God, sad, all my work. Doesn't matter, man. I got my gift of gratitude to Bob Proctor. It is in his home studio. He makes YouTube videos, and when he's I believe, to the right of his desk, and he's doing the videos where he's got the board and then or he pulls up a digital image that blocks part of the screen. Right there, you can see it on some of his videos. It's rare, but you see it on the side there, lying down. But like I said, I gave everything I had. Everything. I broke it down to the emotion, how he was there when I started my art journey, and I'm so grateful and gratitude. His people never got back to me. They fell flat. The only reason I know he has it is because friends of Bob Proctor's, who are friends of mine, seen it, have taken a photograph and showed me. And then I saw it myself in one of his videos, and I almost died. Like, I almost died inside. I was like, oh my God! Ah! I made it! You know what I mean? That's so amazing. Now, he doesn't have it displayed the way I intended, but again, that could be my fault. I didn't send a picture of it in its completion. So he got a crate with this wrapped up, the stand wrapped up, a little box, which, wow, now in hindsight, you open it up, it's like a coffin, I guess. That's messed up. I should have got that engraved. Less coffin-like. And Mr. Mind is in there. Now, in retrospect, as I'm sitting here right now talking to you, I didn't send a picture of it in its whole for him to know how it all goes together. But it's got like little placement cards that explains the paradigm piece, that explained Mr. Mind, that explained I put a little clock and a globe. The point is, they never got back to me, right? I put everything I had into that. And then the Mr. Mind, and because the Mr., like I said, this was complete. And then all of a sudden I was like, now what do I do with that? Like, do I just put this in a box and put a bow around it and here you go? Like, I was presented with another problem, right? You gotta grow. And sometimes you don't know what your next step is until you actually get up on that step. And then you look around and go, oh, I could have prepared for this, but I didn't know that I had to. And when you don't know that you don't know, nothing happens until you get to the point that you know you don't know, right? And as soon as I got this finished and I was like, I'm ready to give it to Bob, I went, oh, no, I'm not. But like I said, I put everything I had into that. I put hours and hours and effort and thought, and they wouldn't even give me a confirmation. They got really frustrated at the point that I wanted confirmation. They couldn't understand why I wanted confirmation that Bob actually got it. I was like, just send me a picture. Send me a letter. Just send me a picture that the man has it. That's all I wanted, right? And as soon as I got that, I backed off. If they don't want to contact me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But as soon as my mutual friend sent me the picture, it was like inside, it was like, there was literally like a weight on me, not knowing. It was the not knowing that was crushing me. Just crushing me. And as soon as I was showing the picture that, oh my God, your art is here in Bob's office, because she had seen the piece before I got it to him, I believe, anyway, if I'm remembering correctly. But she seen it, she sent me this photo, and I was like a world lifted off me, because all it was what was crushing me was the not knowing if he got it. And so, like, you know, and right then and there, I realized that when my sister had asked me, what if Bob just doesn't care or is not interested? Maybe it's not that he doesn't care, maybe it's just that he's not interested in the Mr. Mind and all that stuff that I presented. You know, what am I going to do then? Because my friends and family were seeing, I was putting every single minute that I could into this. Like, I'm just nonstop listening to audiobooks, working on the piece, writing my letter, rewriting my letter, rewriting my letter. Oh my God, create the stand, create Mr. Mind. Oh, this product. Oh my, he could do this, he could do this. Hell, the Mr. Mind as a product alone, if he took that product and all of that, what I just thought, and gave all the rights to it to his granddaughter. Right? Like, no, it's not even him. Just take it and be like, to somebody else. How amazing. You know how much money that can, at least I believe, how much money that Mr. Mind character can generate? I mean, and what can, Bob has a lot of charity causes that he does. So why not put some of those proceeds, anything sold by Mr. Mind, of Mr. Mind products, X amount goes to a charity, and he has his own charity thing, so why not do that, right? So it's like, I really thought that he would jump on it, and that he would like the idea so much that he would want to reach out to me. That just wasn't the case, man. And so I fell hard. Like, flat on my face. I wasn't getting confirmation that the man actually got, because remember, I gave it to one of his associates. And now I'm well aware, I knew who she was, and I know that she is his associate and, like, really close with Bob. But I still didn't get any confirmation that he actually had it, and it just was crushing me. So I fell hard. Like, I still to this day have never got confirmation that he has it, although I know he has it. So the Mr. Mind thing, that all died, and I put a lot of effort into that, man. So sometimes you put effort into things, and it falls, and you fall flat. But you know what I'm super grateful for? I accomplished my goal. Not many people can even get a gift to Bob, and majority of those people who do are actually at his conferences. So they've paid for their ticket to go to their conference to have the ability to meet the man and see the man face to face, to even be able to give him a gift. Like, so that alone was a major accomplishment, and I did that with the power of mind. Because it all started with thought. None of it would have happened without thought. Bob Proctor's teachings tell you that, right? The secret. But the problem is there's so many people, when The Secret came out, that literally thought that you can just sit there in your recliner and imagine yourself in a car every day, and it's just going to happen for you, right? Action. Bob will... No, action. You have to do, right? So in doing that, I had never I sent Bob a 4-page handwritten letter. I could have typed it out, but Bob's old school. And so I was like, I'm going to appreciate what he actually teaches. And he teaches to write down your goals. Don't jump on the computer and keyboard them out. You want to, that's helpful, go ahead. But write down your goals. So I wrote my letter to Bob. It was a 4-page letter. I wrote that letter, read it, changed things, rewrote it, read it, changed it. I wrote that letter probably 5 times. as well as 4 pages of Mr. Mind, product ideas, and what all of that was about. Like, I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. And it fell flat. Now, am I crushed on that? There, at the moment, at the time, I was sad. Sure, I was really thinking I was going to do something. And in hindsight, not knowing, it did do something. Because I had never done that before. I'd never done that, ever. So, you know what? It failed. It fell flat. What I wanted, what I hoped for, and all that shit didn't happen. But you know what did happen? I wrote a man a 4-page letter. I wrote a man a secondary 4-page product letter. I made a man a gift who is a superstar. And I got it to him. He got it. He has my art. Man's a multi-millionaire. He's got a piece of my art sitting in his home studio. Do you know how big of a win that is for me? That's a massive win. None of the other stuff matters. No, yes it does. Because if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have been able to take that step. And I've used all of that information and that I learned in preparing all of that for Bob. And I learned from that, and I moved forward. And then, you know what? You know, I'm writing this book. I'm telling friends I'm going to write this book. I have a friend, Leighton, Jeremy and Leighton Swan, Jeremy Farkas. Shout out to you guys. And she came across this thing on Facebook about how to publish a book and grow rich boot camp by Jerry Robert. She's like, you should check this out. She sent me the link. I was like, done. Boom, done. I just started physically going to seminars. So I'm like, I'm in it. So I go to this thing, right? I'm excited. I get my wife to come with me. My wife comes with me. She's excited because we want to push this book, right? We want this to happen, and I want it to happen for sick kids. I'm trying to give back. So I go to this place for this 3-day boot camp, seminar boot camp on how to publish a book and grow rich boot camp. And this man, Jerry Robert, comes out. And he starts talking, and he's teaching, and me and my wife are like, oh, fuck, man, this is some good information. And there's a good portion of what he's teaching it's like, I know this information. This is Bob Proctor. This is Bob Proctor information. I know this. He's got this thing that he comes up called The Captain, and it's about you steering your own ship, and he also uses a diagram of Mr. Mind. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy's like real into the Bob Proctor shit. Then he says, me and Bob, if you know Bob Proctor, and he actually mentions Bob Proctor from The Secret, and he's like, me and Bob Proctor were business partners. During The Secret. He helped promote The Secret. And I, at this point, am floored at what the universe has just done for me. I think that my battery's dying, so let me just plug this in, and I will continue my story. So, like I said, now Jerry Robert comes out. He starts talking about Bob Proctor. He's his partner in The Secret, and I am just instantly floored at what the universe just did for me. Like, what? I'm trying to accomplish this, and a friend links me to a man who could potentially help me accomplish this. So I go to his seminar just to learn something, and I find he was business partners with a man that I incredibly strongly admire, Bob Proctor. And he shows a clip of Bob and talks about Bob in his office and blah, blah, blah. And the clip mentions Jerry Robert. And you know what the funniest thing is? I've watched that video and seen that clip like 5-6 times. I had heard Bob Proctor mention Jerry Robert numerous times. No connection, no clue that's who I was going to see. And now I'm standing in front of this mind changer, mind shaper, this influencer, and I am floored this is Bob Proctor's business partner. Oh my god. And I reach into my fucking bag, and I pull out, boop, 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 an Excitonium sculpture. Not only an Excitonium sculpture, I painted 2 of the sculptures and a small test piece in the same color scheme. A multi-color color scheme. One I gave to Bob Proctor. One I keep in my pocket at all times. The other I had in my bag. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? The whole time, Mr. Jerry Robert is looking down at my book, because we're taking notes, me and my wife, and I've got a drawing of Mr. Mind there, you know, change your own reality, shape your world, blah, blah, and he keeps looking at this, and I'm recognizing this, and then the whole Bob Proctor thing comes up, and I'm floored what the universe had just done for me. What did the universe just do for me? Oh my God. It just gave me, I had just gotten my piece to Bob, right? And I fell hard. Fell on my face. Zero contact from Bob's people. No confirmation that he even got it. Would I know he has it now? And now I'm standing in front of Jerry Robert, and I've got this piece that is like the matching piece to Bob Proctor's piece, and I'm trying to give these things to mind shapers and mind changers, right? So I'm like, I'm giving this to Jerry Robert. Oh my God, I'm going to give this piece to Jerry Robert. Do you think he'll accept it? Like, talking to my wife, we go home, and like, do you think he'll take it? Do you think he'll accept this thing? So we go there, and he accepted the gift. And he was super grateful and happy to accept it. And I was over the moon excited. Like, over the freaking moon excited. So I wrote letter, and I broke down everything that I'm trying to do as an artist. This, the book here, Excitonium series, and trying to create. I've got the other charity series that I'm trying to create, which I want to bring mind shaper. I would love to get like Tony Robbins to, in front of his entire crowd, paint this painting with motivation. You know, and the power of thought and intent. And then take those 2 centerpieces out, and just paint over his painting. Right? Like, I want to create, so like I broke all of this down. I've got a lot of ideas and things that I want to do and accomplish. And I wrote all of this stuff down. Remember, I learned from Bob, right? Doing the steps for Bob. So I wrote Jerry, and I'm like, I can improve. It was overwhelming. I think it was too much. Jerry was going through some stuff. He had a few things within his personal life and within his business, like steps that he was taking, and he had a lot on his plate, and he was like, you know, he said he appreciates my zeal, gave me a few other compliments, and just said, you know, now's not the time, this isn't for me, not right now. And I was, again, I was upset. Like, I put a lot of effort into it and fell, again, on my face. But I couldn't appreciate his response, like, anymore. Like, you know, he actually, like, I gave him my full-size print, and I went to his house, and I gave him a full-on package, like, basically, like, this whole business agreement, deal, or thought, or whatever. And in hindsight, I realized that it's like I was asking for more than I was willing to give, right? And I realized that later, and even though that wasn't my intention, that when I looked over all of what I sent him, again, like, because I kept copies of most of it, and I'm looking over it, and I'm like, you know, why didn't this work? Why, you know, he's got a lot going on. It's just as simple as that. But I mean, what I got is gold here. Like, oh, it's gold. Why didn't it work? So I'm going over the stuff. No, you just keep going. You don't stop. Does that mean I failed? No, that just means I got a no. That just means I got a couple of no's. But you know what I didn't get? I didn't get a no when it came to them accepting the gift of gratitude. They were happy to accept the gift of gratitude, and both of these men loved the gift enough to have it sitting on their shelf in their home studio. Do you know how big of a win that is for me? That's massive. Massive, 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 massive win. Does that mean, oh, they didn't like the proposal that I sent to these 2 multi-billionaires, by the way. Like, I'm nobody, right? And I put this package together and I sent these things to multi-billionaires. I don't know, billionaires. They're multi-millionaires anyway. They're no question that they're millionaires. You know, and these men accepted my package. They accepted my gift. They also accepted my package. But now again, Bob Proctor, I don't know that he read my letter, but I'm going to assume that he did. The man's a kind-hearted man, and he's all about that. Jerry Robert, however, I know that he read through my proposal. I know he looked over my stuff. So if I can get my idea into the hands of a multi-million-dollar mind shaper who might see something in what I'm doing and be like, yeah, I'll jump on board on that. How incredible would that be? That would be so incredible. Yeah. Well, understand, if I can do it, so can you. Now, don't get me wrong, I fell on my face. But remember earlier in this talk, I said I dropped out of school at 14 years old. I dropped out of school at 15 years old. I never did a book report. I never, ever, ever have had to do an essay. I've never put something like that together before. It probably looked as a professional businessman, like the two of them, when they went through it, they probably looked at that and went, oh my God, a 15-year-old, this is a 15-year-old's business proposal coming from a fucking grown man, pardon my French. That's probably what they thought as they went through it. But you know what my hope is, and my dream, and my desire? The truth is, none of that matters to me. If that's their opinion, then that's their opinion, and it might not be, right? All that matters is that I did it. I did it. And so I gotta know. So I'll do it again. I'll ask somebody else again. And I'll try again. Right? Because you have to. I mean, I guess you don't have to. You can just curl up, say the world sucks and everything hates me and blah blah. You can do that if you want, but if you want your stuff to come true, you just don't stop. You think I got a couple no's? You know, yeah, that's sad or upsetting in a moment. Do you know how much I learned from those experiences? Do you know I have a continued friendship with Jerry Robert? I've gone to his seminar twice, actually. Twice. And I can write him a message, and he'll contact me back, which is, it's incredible. It's incredible. So what he didn't like my business proposal, or at the time, it wasn't good enough for him. So what Bob Proctor didn't like my business proposal, or at the time, it wasn't for him, or thought a child who drew it up. Like I said, I've never written an essay before in my life. Punctuations and all this, you know, you can probably tell right from my writing that I'm not super educated, but you can't tell that from my vocabulary, especially when I'm writing a letter, because when I'm writing a letter, I have the ability to sit there and I want to convey something, and I don't like using the same word multiple times, so I look up synonyms for different words, and as I write a letter, like so. You constantly got to improve on self, and when you fall down flat and you fall on your face, just get back up and try something else. Try something else. Like, do you think that I'm done with getting this Changes series out to sick kids and out into the world because I've failed on 5 different attempts? Look, the first time I tried to reach out to sick kids, they reached back, or they sent me an email. I'm terrible with emails and stuff. I dropped the ball. I flopped. I failed. Not wanting that to happen again, I asked somebody else who's helping me and whatnot, but who's super busy and wrapped up in his own stuff and his own life. I asked him to try to make sure it happens because I dropped the ball. He got started on it, and then nothing. And now, once again, I'm back on it, and I got my wife to help me. My wife has helped me get the emails, and somebody contacted me back, and now I'm waiting 2-3 weeks, and I'm hoping that it just doesn't go nowhere again. right? So like even on this, I keep failing. I think I got a goal. I'm trying to give them all this stuff, right? And like they don't want to contact me back. Like that doesn't make sense. But does that mean I'm not going to keep trying? Do you know how many times Edison tried to create a light bulb before he actually created a damn light bulb? Failure is growth. It sucks. It sucks. But failure is growth. If I never wrote the first letter and all of that stuff to Bob, I would not have been able to improve on what I did to then write the second type of proposal that I sent to Jerry. Right? I failed on both accounts. That's true. I failed on both accounts. But I don't care. I'm gonna fucking smile and keep going. Financially, things got super fucking tight. I retired from roofing, right? Financially, things got super tight. I was feeling stuck in my art and in moving forward. Just couldn't make anything happen. Things financially was getting tight. I went back into roofing, got back into service because I love to help people. And if I'm going to work for a company, I was more than happy to go back to work for Chenard, even though we had parted ways previous. It was just before my daughter went through her third surgery. I was super stressed out and I was wrongfully terminated at the time. I was happy to go to work for them again. And now in this instant, they wanted me to become they said it's the same job, and become a new house serviceman and go do new house service. I'm bottom of the totem pole as far as time in, so I'm the guy who has to suck it up and do it. And I said, no. Like, you hired me as a re-roofing serviceman, not as a new house serviceman. New house service comes with increased vehicle traffic. It comes with heavy machinery coming around. Mud equals a slip hazard. Taller, steeper houses requiring a lift truck, which I have no intention on getting a license for, even though the company will pay for it. And they said, look, if you don't want to do the new house service, then we're going to let you go. And I said, really? You find no value? I'm the first serviceman here, blah, blah, blah. Whiny, cry story. They wanted me to do new house service. I refused. They said, it'll cost you your job. I said, so be it. I won't do something in life that I'm not comfortable doing. I won't do something I don't want to do, and I won't do something I don't believe in. When I believe in something, I'm going to dive head first. And if I full on believe it with every ounce of my being and my soul that it's gonna be something, I'll dive in head first. And this, look, I don't care if the only thing I managed to accomplish within my art career is getting this book to happen and giving the rights to Sick Kids. That'll be a massive accomplishment for me, like beyond massive. For example, I said that I fell flat with Bob and I fell flat with Jerry. I intend to approach Jerry again, but when I do, I intend to approach Jerry with a lot more value than I did the first time. My ideas were huge, and I see a lot of money within those ideas, but I didn't have any footwork done. There's none of this, and I'm trying to stir so much, and it's like, what is it exactly that I was asking him for? Like, do I want him to do everything for me? Like, even myself reading back over it, I'm like, what the hell what am I asking for here? Like, I just showed him my idea without really offering him anything and saying, hey, help me. Like, you know what I mean? You learn and you grow. I will approach him again. I think he's the only man that I want to actually deal with this book and get it into play. But for Jerry Robert to produce my book and to join Blackheart Solutions, it costs money, right? It costs money that I don't have. So I've got to find another way. Am I done approaching that man? No. If I come up with the cash, I'll go knock on his door. I wouldn't do that, but I will message him. You know what I mean? If I came up with the cash tomorrow, I'd message him like that. I have some ideas that I'm hoping I can kind of like figure out in more detail, or at least in a better way that I can approach Jerry with this that offers him value for a reason that he would want to move forward and help me on this book, even if I didn't have the ability to pay for the course, right? Cash is not the only currency in life. Your ideas are currency, because as long as you take your idea and you put your idea into action, ideas plus action become things, right? Ideas are seeds. They're not things. Thoughts are things? No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. Thoughts are not things. Thoughts are seeds, and seeds grow into things. Thoughts become things. Thoughts are not things. Okay? Thoughts are seeds. And then you gotta grow, and you just gotta keep nourishing those seeds until your goals and your dreams come true. I mean, maybe I'll get 10 mils. Maybe I'll get 100. Maybe I'll get lucky, and somebody else, maybe Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk, are you watching right now? Maybe I'm so lucky that Gary Vaynerchuk is just flipping through Facebook or Instagram and sees my post and clicked on right then when I said Gary Vaynerchuk. Maybe he's watching and goes, oh, what's this about? Rewatch my live and goes, dude, I'm in. Like, you just don't know what the universe is going to do. Now, is that likely going to happen? Probably not. But you don't know. You don't know what the universe is going to do. I didn't know that I was going to see the incredible Jerry Robert. Like, he's part of the reason the Secret was so successful. Like, did I know that going to that book conference, I was going to meet Jerry Robert and then have the opportunity to present an Excitonian sculpture to another mind shaper? Oh my, not only just another Bob Proctor's business partner. Like, oh my God, you don't know. Gary Vaynerchuk, are you watching right now? You love this idea? You want to help me help Sick Kids Hospital build a new hospital? I know you're a Jets fan. Come to Toronto, be a Sick Kids fan. Bow! See? Now what if that worked? What if the universe has one of his people watching my shit right now, or eventually, and it gets to him and that happens? Could you imagine? But the point is, you never know. What if Oprah Winfrey sees my stuff and is like, we're giving you a book, and you a book, and you a book! We're giving everybody a book! Right? Like, what if, what if that happened? Never know. What if I try something tomorrow and I fall on my face again and it doesn't work? What if that happens? The world is filled with what ifs. That doesn't mean you don't try. Hell, that's more of a reason to try. That's more of a reason to try. I don't think when I sanded this thing the first time that I ever got this kind of shine on it. I still see all the scratches, but man, it's really starting to shine up. I'm going to work on this piece for a few hours, I think, for sure. I will get this book to sick kids. I will have this thing actually created. I will help sick kids sell and push the book. Once it's made, I'll be on another quest to get 5,000 copies and give them away. Because if I can give away the book, I raise awareness. Somebody from those 5,000 copies likes it, wants to buy a print, buys a print, Sick Kids gets the money. Pow! Oh my God. That can add value for Jerry. You see? Ideas pop in your head all the time. Jerry, I'm going to be approaching you soon. Once I can kind of get my shit together again. I think I've got some ideas. Get you to work with me, man. I want to be business partners. At least on the Changes series. Hell, I'll give the whole thing to you if you can help me make it happen. And that's like, I'm not joking. Help me make this book happen for sick kids. Like, financially, I'm struggling, and that's the only reason that book is not actually complete. As well as the fact that for whatever reason, I keep dropping the ball, and or Sick Kids has dropped the ball on the last 3 times that we've tried to contact them. And I don't know what their resources are. And when I put this idea in their hands and I offer it to them, they may be like, yeah, no, we got a book printing company, done, we'll take it, we're happy to do it. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. Like, I haven't even got that far. But do you know how much work and effort it takes just to even get to the point that I can walk in that door? Do you know what I've had to do and the effort I've had to go through just to get to the point of having something to actually walk into them, into Sick Kids Hospital and speak with them about? Like, for example, this painting took me 36 layers, 15 plus hours of hand sanding, and now, I've been sanding this thing, talking with you guys for the last hour, probably. I haven't been sanding it the whole time, but I was doing it before I even started the live. So, I mean, like, you gotta put the work in. Everything starts with thought, but thought dies in thought. Like, your dreams, let's face it, they're gonna die in a thought if that's where you leave them. You gotta act. And when I started this journey with these paintings, that's not what it was. It wasn't meant to be a book. They weren't meant to be given to sick kids. Things grow. Things grow. You know, why am I giving 12 paintings instead of just one? Like, man, you're already given one that took you freaking 5 years to create. Why would you give them all to them? Because my daughter walks, man. Like, because my daughter walks. And she walks without having... She has no restrictions in life, man. I can't tell you how grateful I am. One painting doesn't cover that gratefulness. Like, I want to help them build the new sick kids. And no, I don't know how I'm doing it. Look, like, here's the painting in the book right there. That's what we're looking at. I don't know how to do this, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Not a college graduate. I never went to however many years of business school. I've never went to finance school. I've never sat there. I don't work every day of my life at a job where I'm on a computer, so I'm incredibly computer savvy. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing. You face those struggles? I'm sure you do. But I'll tell you this. If you're genuine and what you're trying to do is to truly give, and put all that aside, if you have enough intestinal fortitude to keep standing up every time you fail and to keep going, that alone will accomplish miracles in your life. That alone will help you to accomplish and like massive feats, man. Like this series, this 12 paintings, if this is 15 hours of my life, and that painting was 10 hours of my life, and this painting was I went at this one and then I repainted again and I went at it, like this painting was like probably 40 hours of my life because I did it twice, the whole sand through thing. You gotta put the work in. You gotta do something. You have to do something. If I thought, and all I did was think that I want to get a book to sick kids, not one of these paintings would ever be in creation. It wouldn't have a book to even think about giving to sick kids, right? Action. It all takes action. Everything. Action without a, like, I'm doing this because of this outcome. Action without having that, this is the reason why, is still incredibly powerful as long as you're using your action goes toward your bigger goal. Like I do things, I post videos sometimes that have nothing to do with what I'm trying to accomplish, right? Like I'm an artist. Why am I talking to you about mindset? I'm trying to paint and get a book into sick kids. Why do I talk to you about 1 + 1 = 3? Like, why do I waste my time on that if I'm an artist? Because that's my passion. It's who I am, and it's what this is me. My art is my soul shine, and my soul shine is me. This is me. Hello. You know, like me or don't like me. Either way, this is me. The only way I change is when I don't like me. Right? That's not true. Because I also change when I love me. Because I love me all the time. And when I love me, I want to see a better life for me. When I hate me, I don't care. You go into a depression hole. And that sucks. It sucks for you, and it sucks for everybody around you. What is depression? Can anybody out there tell me what is depression? Because depression is the words, is the energy, the vibration of your words and your thoughts, of the emotion behind those words. I hate myself, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, all of these things are negative. When you say that stuff to yourself over and over, then that's what you get, right? That's what you believe. You'll believe a lie if you're told it enough times, right? So you have to change the conversation that you have with yourself, right? Talking with yourself, to yourself. When you're mad, you're telling, especially that one, and about yourself. When you're sitting there talking with yourself about yourself, come on, you gotta be kind. On all three, it's a trifecta. It's like, those are the fates. You know what I mean? It's like, those are the fates. That's the you know who the fates are that decide your destiny? That's the conversation that you're having with yourself, to yourself, about yourself. Now, when I talk about this stuff, I talk about, I don't have anybody that I coach. I'm not paying, nobody pays me to coach them. Nobody pays me to talk about this stuff. I talk about this stuff because it's my own life experience. And I'll tell you right now, depression is nothing more than that conversation. And you can get out of depression by changing that conversation. That's it. No pills, no garbage. And I'll tell you this from my own life experience. I'm the type of person, I've gone through my whole life confident. Conceited is the words that friends used when I was 14 and 15 and 20 years old. Conceited. Like, I love myself. I'm awesome. I'm freaking amazing. Right? 2 years ago, I went through depression. Life just was beating me down. I lost my dog. Like, my dog passed away. I lost 2 dogs in the course of 2 years. Hit by a car and suffocated in a bag of smart food. Man, he stuck his head in a bag of suffocated. Life was just beating me down. So I lost pets, I lost family, I lost work. So I started feeling like I wasn't good enough. Like, just, the world hates me, everything sucks. And all of a sudden I was depressed. Right? And I had never felt that before. So I didn't know what the hell this was. And I wanted to know what had happened to me. Like, why am I like this? What the fuck happened to me? Now, remember, I had 30-something years of constant self-confidence, self-belief. And then it was gone. And I'm sitting there again. Remember, this is just like, not even 2 years ago. Less than 2 years ago. It might be just a year ago that I was actually going through that. Right, so this is 8 years after my journey on starting all of this, and everything happened. It started with Bob, right? Remember I said that. So I'm sitting there, sanding an excitonium sculpture, the one I gave to Bob. Actually, it's the reason I gave it to Bob. I'm sitting there, listening to Bob, And he's talking about, you have to change the conversation in your head and all this stuff. And he's talking about how his story of when he got the book and then all of a sudden he's a multi-millionaire or a millionaire from his cleaning business. And he was like, he needed to know how that happened to him. Now he's saying this and I was like, instantly, I'm like, how in the did this happen to me? Like, how am I sitting here and I hate my fucking self? How is this fucking possible? I'm sorry for the swearing. So I needed to know. And then he started, so he told the story, and then he was talking about the conversation and the words you use, the vibration, and emotion is the words and the vibration and blah, and it. Now, let me tell you, I've been listening to Bob for 8 years. I've heard all of this stuff over and over and over, and I'll listen to it happily over and over and over, more and more, and still and continue to. But when he said it to me that day, as I was sanding the sculpture, thinking about a paradigm and this shit, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, literally, just dummy, boom, and Tyson knocked me in the face. Like, all of a sudden, I was saying words to myself like, you're garbage. You're not good enough. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Nobody cares about you. You're just a fucking drain. Right? Like, this is the stuff that was rolling through my head. The second I realized that, this wasn't a gradual thing. I gradually got into depression. You gradually get worse until you gradually get there. Let me tell you something. The realization and the punch in the face that it was the conversation that I'm having to not just the words, it's not just the thoughts that roll through your head, it's not. It is that conversation. That conversation is the fates. To yourself, with yourself, about yourself. As soon as I realized that I had been saying things like I'm garbage and I'm not good enough, the second I realized that, and I went, oh my God, I'll never say that again, ripped me out of depression. There's no such thing as depression. Oh, there is when you're going through it. It's a conversation in your head. That's all it is. That's all it is. And trust me, believe me, and if you suffer from depression, it's not easy to change that conversation. Do you know what? But becoming aware of the fact that you're abusing yourself mentally, you're self-abusing, you're beating yourself up all the time. Becoming aware of that is a huge, huge step. It's a huge step. Because then you can recognize when you are saying to yourself that you're shit or that you're bad, and you can correct the problem. Right? Conversation to yourself, with yourself, about yourself. It's like it's the fates, man. It's the fates controlling the strings of your life. So change that conversation. You suffer from depression? No, man. You're not stupid. You're not dumb. You're not worthless. You're not fat. You're not ugly. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're smart. You're a freaking miracle. You are. You're a miracle. I'm a miracle. Tell yourself that. Look in the mirror. Say you love yourself. There's nobody in this world that you talk to more than yourself. There's not a single person on this planet that you have more conversation time with than yourself. Think about that. Think about that. Somebody else think you're stupid? Gives a shit. Who cares? That's them. In their world and their reality. Not you in your head. Not in your world, not in your reality. Change it. Change it. Change the conversation you have with yourself. Period. For example, weight loss. Oh, I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to lose the weight. You're using the wrong words. Words are energy. My keys, right? I lost my keys. What's the tendency when you lose something? What do you do when you lose something? You find it. You try to find it. You want to regain what you've lost. Loss is never good. You want to regain what you've lost. Stop trying to lose the weight. Change the words that roll through your head. I'm beautiful, for one, right? And two, I'm going to eliminate this weight. I'm going to transmute this way. I have to double check the meaning of that word to see if that works with that. But I'm going to transform myself. Right? Don't say I'm going to lose the weight. It's all, words are energy. Words are feeling. We don't create thoughts. Thoughts don't create a reality. That's, hey, fuck. So many of you are going to go, what? You just said that thoughts, no man, thoughts are seeds is what I said, bro. Thoughts don't create your reality. Emotion is what's creating your reality. You create feelings. It's feeling. And when you can tie your thought, something you want, a burning desire, it becomes tied with an emotion that you can manifest, that you can make happen. You can't make a thought happen. Book close. The book ain't gonna close. I'm not Jedi Master, neither are you. I want the book to close. I've got to act. Thoughts are nothing more than thoughts if you don't do anything with them. Like these things that I talk about, I don't get paid by anybody to talk about these things. I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach. So why am I saying these things? I'm not being paid to say these things. Nobody's paying me to say this. I'm not being sponsored to say these things. I'm not being sponsored by Bob Proctor to talk about his stuff. I'm talking about this stuff because I truly believe in it. I truly believe in it. And people go, Dallas, really? You believe you can just sit in your chair and close your eyes and think about getting a car? I think it starts with that. And then I think that continuing to think about it causes you to get ideas. Ideas cause you to act. Action causes you to get. So yes, I believe in The Secret. However, The Secret, the movie itself, does not tell you everything. It doesn't give you the actual fucking secret. You gotta act. You gotta get up. You gotta do. But I don't get paid. I don't get paid to talk to you about all this stuff. So why do I do it? Why don't I just concentrate fully on my art? Because mind, change, the power of mind, thought, positive thinking, all of this is a huge part of my art. It's a huge part of me. So if you want to, if I want somebody to be interested in my art, you can be interested in the art just simply because you like the image. That's fantastic. No, but maybe you like my art because you like the meaning behind the art. Maybe you like the art simply because you like me. You know, I don't know. Maybe you don't like my art because of me. I don't know, but I'm not going to stop being me. So don't stop being you. At the core of whatever it is you're doing, I mean, don't get me wrong. Anybody who stands and tells you that the only reason that they're doing something is for somebody else and that there's zero self-gain, I mean, come on, you're stupid. I'm giving away this entire series. If I could get Jerry Robert to help me produce this book and everything, I'd give the man 50% of all the originals. I give the man 70% of the originals. I give the man 90% ownership of all of the fucking originals, the rights to produce those images, and any profits that can come of it. I will give him all of that just to make this book happen. Right? But Dallas, what do you mean? How are you benefiting from that? You just said that we all do something we all do it for self, for money, there's a purpose to make something of it. You're right. And if I could give all of this to Jerry and he helped make that happen, and Jerry sold all of these paintings. Now, I get compared to Jackson Pollock, which is just mind-boggling. It's incredible. His stuff sells for like $50 million. Jerry's a master king marketer. If he could take all these things and sell all of my paintings and then walk away from it with like $55 million and I don't get shit? Do you know how happy I would be? Action, reaction, throw a stone in the pond. If I gave Jerry Robert all of these images and the originals, the paintings, I gave him the whole Changes series, and that marketing genius man went out and did his thing and sold them and made millions of them. Action, reaction says that now my name is out there. People might like my art enough to actually seek me out to paint something new, to paint something else. So it's like, yeah, I want to give. I want this to happen. I want this book for sick kids. Like, that's I never will make $1 off that book, ever. Never, no matter what. Will I make money off these paintings? Sure, I own the originals. Will I make money off the prints? Sure, I have the ability to, and the right to produce the prints. But I want this book to happen so much that I would give up the originals. I'd give up the rights. I would. All of it. Just to make that book happen. If I guarantee the book happened and that the book got pushed and that the world knew about the book, yeah, I'd give up the rights to every one of these paintings. I'd give up the rights to produce the images. I'd give it all away. Because action, reaction is what I'm looking for. I want to give back. And I'm not trying to get paid to give. I don't want to get paid to give. I'm happy to do that. Like, I am more than happy. Like, believe me, I'm so grateful. I want this goal accomplished. I don't know how to accomplish it. I don't know. I'm struggling. Like, I'm struggling. I'll give away the rights to every painting and the rights to the images to Jerry, the man who produces books, if I could. Hell, maybe I should approach him with that. You see? You never know. I'm just talking to you and ideas just popping in my head. I'm that willing to make this happen. This is, now, these paintings, just these 12 alone are 8 years of my life, man. They're 8 years of my life. And you're willing to give that away for nothing? I would. To make that happen, I would. I'd do it in a heartbeat. Because action, reaction says now that, man, it's something I created that I love, is out there in the world. And people who want it, who enjoy it and want it, will then get it, and it benefits sick kids. Oh my God, it's so huge for me. And that just means action, reaction, man. Somebody else might seek me out to get something else. And then I can make money off it. That's fantastic. So what is it when they go, well, what's in it for you? Because there's something in it for you. There always is. Every one of us. There always is. No matter what you're giving to get. But what is it that you're actually trying to receive? Like for me, I'm trying to give this and get this out to the world so that I can get action, reaction. That's what I'm looking for by doing this. I'm looking for the reaction. You throw a rock into a pond and it creates ripples effect that go out everywhere, as well as come right back to you. Right? It's the action, it's the reaction that I'm looking to benefit from, that I hope to benefit from, not the action. So, when they say you gotta find a reason, you gotta give, are you giving from a greedy place? Because we're all doing it for something. We all want something. We just simply don't do things for nothing. Right? We can't. You can't afford to, because you gotta be able to freaking eat and pay your rent. So, you gotta rethink your purposes sometimes, right? Sometimes you gotta narrow down your dream. Like, for example, this book, I talk about I want 10 charities involved in the book. The logistics, the more I talk to people and the more I get an understanding of things, because like I said, I'm not a college graduate, right? So the more I talk to people and the more I get an understanding for things, the logistics of 10 charities benefiting and being involved is very difficult to work out. Especially when it's never been done. So I got to narrow and the legality behind that ties the creation of this thing actually happening to who the hell knows how long, to the point that maybe it doesn't happen simply because of legalities of trying to get 10 charities involved. So as a result of conversations and thinking, I've decided this book in particular is simply for sick kids. I'm just giving the whole damn thing to sick kids. That's my purpose for starting out anyway. Like, I want to give, right? I want everybody to benefit from it because I think it's a great idea. But in talking with people, the legality and the logistics to pull that off is very difficult, and I'm realizing that it's almost me creating my own roadblock to stop my success from happening. Because we do that as well. We throw roadblocks and stop ourselves. And I think me trying to expand that into something so big that it helps so many, in hindsight, is throwing up a roadblock, stopping me from actually accomplishing the goal. Because this is my ultimate goal. And if I can make this one happen, and not if, when I make this one happen and make this a success, something that's, to my knowledge, never been done, nobody's done it, then I'll have somebody's ear, right? Then I'll have eyes on what's going on. Somebody going, how do I do this? How do I get involved in this? And I go, hey, I'm already working on number 2, so who wants to get involved? And that makes more sense. That seems more likely, and that is more of a realistic path for me to take. So this entire book is going to be Sick Kids Alone and not the 10 charities that I've talked about before, simply because of the legality behind paying and all that, and who runs it, and when nobody even knows or can see that it's profitable is too staggering. So I have to narrow things down to make it doable. And I can do that. So I think I've got a couple of ideas actually just talking to you. You know, see, also a part of the reason that I talk to you quite often is because as I stand here and I talk to you, and I hope that I'm offering value to people, right? But as I sit here and I talk to you, I'm talking to myself. I talk to me, right? It's just me here. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. That's it. There's nobody else. It's just me and you. So I'm talking to myself, working through my own understandings and chipping away at my own paradigm every time I talk to you, right? I talk to you, I talk to myself. I go back, I watch my own videos, not to be vain, but to understand it and to see where I can improve. Okay, you did this, but if you had said this, maybe you would bring your point across better and help people understand what you're trying to say. You know, why do I go through all that? Oh, nobody's paying me for this, so why do I sit there and go over my own video and want to improve on it? The reason being is because this information that I talk about and I say to you, I truly believe has transformed my life from a world of hard labor to a world of possibilities. And yes, I have fallen on my face a few times throughout this journey, and I'm sure that I'm going to fall on my face a few more. But I'm not going to stop, because the accomplishment of the goal is going to help too many people. There's too many people that this book being in the hands of sick kids, there's too many people it can help. So I can't stop. I can't, and I won't. Yeah, it's probably one of the only times that can't should be acceptable in your words in your head is when you're saying that I can't stop. And I can't stop because it just won't stop, because I can't stop, because it won't stop. Because the goal accomplished will help too many. Right? And that's amazing. That's amazing motivation. And then telling everybody that I'm going to do this, well, that's accountability. Oh my God, it's accountability. I'm struggling. I've been talking about this for less than a year, but I've been talking about this for going on a year, and it's still not done. I'm going to keep talking about it until I come up with the right idea, or I'm presented with the right opportunity that actually makes me take that next step, and I make it happen. Just period. Done, plain and simple. I won't stop. I need a coffee. Break time, need Timmy's. You guys are absolutely awesome. You're beautiful people. You're miracles. Miracles. Understand what I'm saying in the scope of what I'm saying when I say that to you. You are an absolute miracle. The things that it took throughout history to line up in the exact way that they did for you to be born is phenomenal. One minor change and so many things in this world changes. Something changed 100 years ago. You're not even born. Like, unreal. You're a miracle. Love yourself. Right? Love yourself. You deserve it. You're amazing. I love every one of you.